It is convention week here on Pub Politics. We are knee-deep in the Republican convention down there in Tampa. I know you guys are keeping an eye on how things go, especially Joel Sawyer.
Absolutely.
With us on the Republican side. In for Wes, who I understand is in Tampa.
He's down there having fun.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Phil Bailey on the Democratic side, just kind of taking it all in.
Absolutely.
Watching the Republicans, making probably your own. Are you yelling things at the TV as you watch these speeches?
I'm yelling, you lie. At my television.
Excellent, nice job. Let's start with Tuesday's action because it was Governor Haley's turn at the podium, and she got a pretty nice spot. She was post-Santorum, and she was pre-Ann Romney and Governor Christie, so I know a lot of the networks took her, and we got to see her speech, and she talked about her difficulties with the federal government. She mentioned the Boeing fight. She also mentioned voter ID, and that got a huge cheer at the convention. So, Joel, let me ask you, was this a speech that was a speech given by someone who has aspirations down the road on a national stage, which is what some people think?
Well, I mean, look, I mean, she's been very clear that she's focused on South Carolina, that she's not going anywhere. I mean, it was a great speech, and I'm sure that there were people across the country watching it, hoping that she does have nationalist aspirations. But, you know, she talked about South Carolina, some of the success that we've had here, and at the same time, some of the difficulties that we've had here with the federal government, with President Obama. So, you know, look, I'd give it an A. I thought it was a great speech, and I think it hopefully turns some heads of people around the nation.
So Professor Sawyer gives it an A. Professor Bailey, now obviously that was a safe crowd for her at the RNC. Obviously, you as an unbiased Democrat,
sure.
How would you? Well, give me a letter grade, but then tell me why you're assigning a grade.
A minus?
No, right. You know, it was. I mean, she did do a good delivery, but what the substance of what she was talking about was just pure fantasy. Talking about her fights with the unions. Only 2% of the workers here in South Carolina, 2% are actually union members. The fight with Boeing, that had nothing to do with South Carolina. That was purely between Boeing and the federal government, and that was never. They were never ever going to shut down that plant in North Charleston. It was just I don't know what reality she's living in. And throwing out the red meat on voter ID, I just enjoy watching the Republicans get a good round of applause for suppressing minority vote. They think that that's a red meat topic.
Boy, who is? I still don't understand this. Who is suppressed by a voter ID bill? Why is it just minorities again?
Because it disproportionately affects minorities.
It does not. Have you actually looked at the percentages? The exact same percentage of people who don't have ID, it completely mirrors the population of South Carolina.
I'm glad that you brought this up. I mean, well, I brought it up. I'm glad you're engaging in this. We've got a federal lawsuit going on right now. You've got Republican lawmakers testifying yesterday and the day before who are openly getting caught in their testimony saying that the racial effect would be.
Who?
You got Senator Campson,
Senator
McConnell,
there was nothing racial.
And then you've got the architect. You got the architect of the bill, Representative Alan Clemens, testifying about racial jokes via email.
But you're sitting here casting these broad aspersions when there was no racial component to what Campson or McConnell either one said.
The effects of the law that they passed.
Again, but you're casting broad aspersions that have nothing to do with what you actually said.
The effect of the law that they passed will have a greater proportional effect on minority voters.
Not if you look at the numbers.
I do look at the numbers, Joe.
We all love numbers here on Pub Politics. One thing I want to say about the Haley speech, Dick Harpootlian, the chairman of the South Carolina Democratic Party.
I'm guessing he didn't like it.
Well, he took a shot at Haley, said that she should have been back in the state because of the flooding in Charleston. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, look, you know, Dick Harpootlian would say she needed to be back in the state if somebody spilt their milk at the dinner table. His job is to take shots, and he's very good at taking shots. He's not as good at offering ideas.
Go ahead, Phil. I'll let you finish that up.
This was almost historic flooding. 8 inches of rain in Charleston. I went to school down there, and they're seeing the pictures of some of the intersections around the College of Charleston that I've never seen flooded before, under a foot of water. This was a disaster. I think that she should have been here in South Carolina with her emergency preparedness division, you know, leading and being a governor instead of down at Tampa promoting her national aspirations.
All right, so the convention continues all week there in Tampa with the big Romney acceptance speech coming up on Thursday night. Real quick, especially Joel Sawyer, this hits home to you, I know.
Yes.
Former Governor Sanford, in the past week, we've learned about his engagement to his girlfriend from Argentina. Joel, any special words for the governor, former governor, as he is about to embark on this new journey?
I wish him the best. It was a circuitous and painful way to get there, but it's just like anybody else, he deserves to be happy. I hope it's great. My job at the wedding is going to be to pull him away from the altar if things get awkward.
Okay, so a little deja vu there from back in the day. Phil, will you be in attendance at this wedding?
I don't know. I just want to say congratulations. And my biggest question is, where are they registered?
Well, we'll find that out, and maybe we'll address that on a future. Maybe we'll have a special wedding, pre-wedding. Is it going to be like the royal wedding? Will this be televised?
We need to find out where the wedding's going to be and do a pub politics episode.
Live from the wedding.
The wedding
that would be perfect.
I was just going to wonder openly, could they be registered at the Backpacker?
Yeah, so I mean,
hiking supplies.
Hiking supplies.
All right, well done, guys. We'll finish on that note. Once again, Joel and Phil, thanks for joining us. PubPoliticsLive.com is the website where you can catch these guys every weekend. We'll see you next week. We'll talk Democratic convention, I guess, next week. You'll love to hear about that, Joel, I'm sure. We'll see you guys next week. Right now, back to you.